Well, hello and welcome back again. I think it's for me saying to myself, welcome back again to YouTube. Welcome back to make content again. I cannot found my microphone, so I'm using my phone to record my audio. I cut my hair again, shorter than the last time. I don't know what this hairstyle called. I think it's Bixie, like mix of pixie and bob. I cut it myself. I didn't go to salon because I don't trust salon in my area. In today's video, before I'm going into another book review, I want to give a little life updates because it's been 2 weeks I'm absent from YouTube, and I think you deserve to know what's going on while I'm gone. First things first, I record this on Friday, and the government made new rules that people are working from home on Friday. So pardon me if you hear any noisy because my family is here, all of them, and the neighbor is also at home because they are all working from home. So what's been going on? Why I'm gone for 2 weeks? Like I said on my previous video that I will take a break for Eid holiday, and me and my family was on a trip to our relatives' houses, relatives' places, and that in the different province. We didn't go to one person's place but many people's place, and they are all at the different cities, so it was like a tour for me that we are going to one city to another, one relative's house to another for a week, and that's really tiring. Also, for the second week, I mostly just recovering because it's so tiring. A week on street non-stop, we didn't get enough rest, so for the next week after Eid holiday I took a break again to rest. And also I got a call for job interview. Like I said before, I changed my job and I got interview last week, so it's been a lot. I'm resting. There has been a lot. For 2 weeks I went to Eid holiday and then resting and then have to prepare for interview and stuff, and right now is finally I have time to make a new video again. And for the opening for new month, this is already April by the way, I will continue with Narnia saga. As you know, I read Narnia in reverse and I already reviewed Narnia The Last Battle. And the next one would be the 6th book, The Silver Chair. This is my favorite Narnia book. I could say I have read this over and over again. Like after I finish this, I read it again and again while I'm reading other book too. The story is just more interesting for me. So this book is the 6th book of Narnia saga, and this is the book before the ending. The story between this book and the ending is not really coherent. What's going on? Narnia timeline. Like Narnia timeline could be faster or slower than our timeline. But there are characters that appeared again on the last battle from the Silver Chair. Still from the same author, C.S. Lewis, this book is published in 1953. And the genre is fantasy. There are not a lot of synopsis from the back of the book. It's just very short like this. But I think it is basically what the story is, because Narnia is child's book, so there are not a lot of complicated or plot twists in the book. So this is the synopsis that I got from the back of the book. A captive prince, a land in peril. Narnia, a land where giants corrupt, where evil curses and magic reign supreme. Through incredible dangers and deep dark caverns, two friends are sent to rescue a captive prince. but their mission to the underworld brings them face to face with a witch far more beautiful and dangerous than they could have ever imagined. So this story is following two school friends, Eustace Crabbe, the character from previous Narnia book, and his friend Jill Pole. They are summoned to Narnia by Aslan, and they are given mission to rescue a captive prince, which is the son of Caspian. So Aslan gave the children set of guidance how to find this prince. And long story short, on the journey, they met a Marswiggle named Puddleglam. The three of them embarked the journey to the city of giants because that's where they are given guidance. They supposed to find Prince Rilian in the city of giants. In reality, it's just the beginning. It's not that they will find Prince Rilian in the city of giants, but to be exact, under the city of giants or the underworld, where the witch rule the underworld kingdom, and she manipulates anyone who live there by saying that the upper world, the Narnia and Aslan, is not real. Basically, that is the big line of the story. For the detail, it's actually very interesting how Prince Rilian could be captivated by this witch at the first time. Like I said before on the synopsis, this witch is very beautiful woman, and of course Prince Rilian is lured by her beauty, and she took him to live with him. Anyway, this witch is manipulate Prince Rilian to say that if he does anything she said, she would make him the king of upper world. And I think without the witch promised him like that, he would be a king anyway because he's a prince and his father is a king. And in this story also described that the old King Caspian sailed to the end of the world again to seek for his son. Prince Rilian has been missing for many years, and Caspian is very desperate to find him, that he would do anything, he would go anywhere to find his son again. So, what's the silver chair anyway? Why this book title is Silver Chair? Where is the silver chair? The silver chair is actually a chair where Rilian being held captive. So, by the end of the story, the children and Puddleglam found Prince Rilian became aware that he is being held captive, and the witch manipulated him to get her purpose. Prince Rilian realized what's going on. He is being tied to the silver chair, which in the chair there is a spell that makes him go crazy anytime he realizes he's being manipulated again. So, like it or not, Prince Rilian must to obey the witch, even though he doesn't want to. He doesn't have a willpower. He doesn't have independent to resist or fight back this spell. But of course, we all know the ending, that Prince Rilian finally could be free with the help of their three friends, and he destroyed the silver chair, and the witch, beautiful witch, turned into a snake. And that's why in the cover it's a boy who will cut down the snake. That snake is actually the green witch that turned into a snake. Rilian cut it to two pieces or to half, but anyway, Rilian cut the snake witch and released all the creature that the witch captive underground. I forgot how it ends, like how it ends. So from the story alone, it is visible that there are not many characters, but they are very significant on this story. There is Jill Pole. She is Eustace's friend. In the beginning of the story, she was bullied by her peers, and she was crying on the gymnasium before Eustace came and told her about Narnia. She was brave but initially unsure. Jill grows into a more disciplined and courageous character as she learns to trust the sign and take responsibility. I think Jill is pretty solid and grounded character for the first time going to Narnia compared to Eustace. And for the character development, I could trust her having a strong responsibility and leadership. And of course, there is Eustace Crabbe. He is much better in this book compared to the previous one. Eustace is loyal, practical, and supportive throughout the journey. He is not losing his sense of humor, and instead he met Puddleglum, and those two are like a joker on the journey. Eustace is more optimist, is taking more initiative and leadership on this book compared to the previous one. And this is interesting character, the Marshwiggle, Puddleglum. He is a Marshwiggle, like a humanoid, but with, I don't know how to describe it because it's not in any kind of mythology you ever know. Maybe it's in the mythology, maybe it's not. Basically, Puddleglum is like the merging of human and frog. He lives in the marsh, that's why he is a Marshwiggle. Puddleglum is a gloomy yet deeply loyal Marshwiggle. Despite his pessimism, he shows great courage, especially when resisting the witch's enchantment. So when the witch manipulates everyone, Prince Rilian, Eustace, Jill, and Puddleglum, saying that upper world is not real, Aslan is not real, that is just a dream. And Puddleglum responds to, even though Narnia and Aslan only a dream, I choose to believe it. And that belief is what helped them free from the influence of the Green Witch. Actually, Puddleglum is very pessimistic one on the journey, and I kinda don't like him, but I think his words and his action is kinda contradictive. He said many pessimistic words, but his action is the opposite of it, like, I doubt that we could survive that, but let's do it anyway. That's just basically him all over the story. And of course, there is Prince Rilian. He is the captive prince that being tied to the silver chair. He is the son of Caspian and Ramandu's daughter, or Liliandil. Actually, in the book, there is no name for Ramandu's daughter. It's just Ramandu's daughter, but in the movie, it's Liliandil. So this is the story why Rilian got held captive by the witch. One day, when Rilian and his mother went to the picnic, Liliandil was taking a rest and took a nap. While on her nap, there was a snake came and bit her. Long story short, she passed away. Caspian and Rilian was devastated. In his sorrow, Rilian came back to the location where his mom was bitten by a snake and passed, like he wanted to memorize his mother. But in that location, in the same location, he found a very beautiful woman. So he would come back there over and over again, and then that woman is lured him. That woman is the Green Witch. I think Rilian is fell in love with her, and she manipulates him to being held captive. It's not explained that the witch held Rilian as her captive to get ransom from Caspian, because that is not how Narnia works. There is no ransom. Anyway, yeah, and then actually after she took Rilian underground, she put spell on him so he would do whatever she said. And from the Rilian point of view, he think that the Green Witch or Green Lady is really kind to him. I think it's like how the White Witch and Edmund relationship in the Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. She wants to use Rilian to rule Narnia, because it's also explained that the Green Witch had a project to make tunnel that will appear in the land of Narnia, and when it finished, they would come out and make Rilian the king. That's what she told to him. But actually, she just want the power all for herself. It's really like the White Witch. And what we know about this witch, she is a green lady, very beautiful, always wearing green, has a beautiful voice. I think if in Indonesia it would be equal to Nyi Roro Kidul. I don't know. She is the main antagonist, a witch who manipulates and controls others through deception and magic. Everybody is afraid of her. No one could fight her. So, besides Rillian, she also captive many others, Narnians creature, dwarf and beavers, to underground. But she didn't put spell on them because I don't know, they just afraid of her. Like I think she used terror to rule the world. Meanwhile, the other creature are keep building the underworld city. Her purpose was to also rule the upper world, and that's why she used Rillian. For her, Rillian was only a tool to expand her kingdom. And there's also Aslan. In this story, Aslan didn't come to rescue them. He only came at the beginning when he gave Eustace and Jill instruction, and that's all. And by the end, when the children about to go back to their world, there's interesting story too, because by the end of the story, the old King Caspian died, but then he resurrected by Aslan, became the young version of him again. And then Caspian asked Aslan if he could go to the children's world, to the real world, this world. Aslan granted his wish, and Caspian came along, Eustace and Jill come back to their world for a while and helped them fight the bullies. And I think that's all the characters. There are also centaurs who helped them, but it's not very significant. They only came to give information. Okay, next is my first impression. This book is my favorite Narnia books. I have read this more than once. I don't know why this one is my favorite. I think because I don't know. I cannot explain how this really interesting that they go to the underworld and then free the prince. That is kind of like darker than the previous Narnia, that focusing on the land, upper world, the ocean. And there is something interesting too. It's very biblical, I think. I don't know if it's biblical or not. If you know, please let me know in the comment or correct me if I'm wrong. But this is also in Islam. So when they went to the underworld, they are heading to the witch kingdom. They passing by like some kind of underground forest, and there are many of giant lizards sleeping. And when Jill asked what are they, the dwarf, which is their guide, told them that those giant lizards will come to the upper ground by the end of the world. And if you remember, in my previous video when I explained about in the last battle, after Aslan put the Narnians to the heaven or the real Narnia, there are lizards who came to the upper ground and destroy what's left. That is basically what they do. And before the end of the time, they would be keep sleeping. I don't know, from Christian point of view, I think it is true because Narnia is fiction that based on Christianity. In the beliefs, in the real religion, there are giant lizards or giant birds that will came by the end of the time to destroy what's left. It is the same with Narnia. Sometimes I feel like Narnia is not really children's book, like it's too much for children to digest. And I think there are a lot of questions for them, like when the book explained the giant lizard would came and the children would be confused, like why are they sleeping? Why they only came out by the end of the time? I don't know if a child asking me that, should I explain it in a religion wise or say that it's just how the book described? Sometimes I feel Narnia is more for adults than for children because this book is fictional based on Christianity, and I don't think that children already understand religion that deep and could understand the context, you know. By the way, this is irrelevant, but I just want to tell you I have book The Last of the Mohican and I never read it. I actually tried to read it several pages, but I gave up because the English is really difficult. And I found on the bookstore the animated book version for children, The Last of the Mohican. I don't know if the story is simplified or if children could understand that, because me as an adult, I have hard time to understand. I mean, it's not I don't understand it, I do, but I hate to read long sentences that is unnecessary. It was setting in the war and the character is talking like as if they are on the opera. Like, how could you say that when the bomb is about to blow behind you? You know what I mean? Also, not recently actually, we already planned it months before, but my sister just come back here a few weeks ago, and we had this kind of agreement to exchange book from the same author but don't tell each other the title, you know, same author but different titles. For the first period, I choose Paulo Coelho. I gave her The Witch of Portobello or The Witch from Portobello, I forgot, and she gave me The Alchemist, the classic one. I didn't expect that she would give me this, the classic one, The Alchemist. And for the next period, I let her choose the author and she chose Agatha Christie. To be honest, I never read any Agatha Christie books, so let's see what I can find on the bookstore and what she got for me. And as you know, I really want to read Kafka book. I have The Trial. I want to buy Metamorphosis, but then my sister said, you know, just read my book. She had Metamorphosis and lent me this. This is actually not the cover I expected because I was expected some kind of like moth on the cover or insects, but it's a painting, like I don't know what painting it is. It's a famous painting. I just don't know what its name. So I think that is all I would review. I would talk about today. I have covered all Narnia. There are not much I could cover in Narnia because that's basically all. I have talked about the cover. Oh, and wait, this is interesting because this book has illustration. Look, this is the three of them with Prince Rilian on the silver chair. And like I said before, every Narnia book has map in the front, unless for the last battle. This is the map of where they would go on the journey. It's very interesting because it's really giving children's book vibes with illustration. I like it that the book has illustration, so I don't grasp what the character look like. In my mind, sometimes it's inaccurate, and when I saw other people or if they make the movie of it, I would be disappointed because that's not like what I imagined. So the illustrations really helped me. Okay, so thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe, likes, and share this video. I don't know why you want to share this video. It's just me talking about the books I have read. And also I will back again. I'm back again to my routine uploading book review video. There will be a lot more interesting book upcoming interesting book. I just found the old books that I already read and I'm going to review it in the future. So subscribe this channel so you don't miss any book review, and see you on the next video. Bye.